first few weeks, kind of been for you? Working your way through injury, but you're playing pretty well at the same time.
It's been tough, but we have a great coaching staff, great training staff getting me ready for the games, and I didn't hurt my leg, if that's what you're talking about, until I think that Wednesday of Sacramento State. So obviously didn't play that game. Tried to get better because I knew we had a bigger game coming up. No disrespect to Sacramento State, but big game. I knew I had to get ready. We were down with Kyle Soley. He was gone, and with Merlin and D-Black and Kalen playing all special teams and stuff like that all the time, I know they get gassed pretty gassed throughout the game. So I wanted to be like an extra body just in case, make myself available, and it's been pretty tough.
Yeah. So what's your status going to be like for this Saturday?
You're gonna have to ask Coach. You're gonna have to ask Coach G about that one. I'm not completely sure yet, but if I can be that guy and be there for him, I will be. But it's all day to day.
How's this process been? Just being away from the team from the summer and kind of trying to get back things in that way, and then like you said, talked about the hamstring too.
It was like I said, it's been pretty tough. A roller coaster of things, and I just I have a lot of love, and I thank Coach Herm a lot for sticking with me and being that guy that he hasn't quit on me. Because there's some days where I feel like I'm adding to the list of things that are wrong, and it's not a really great feeling. And just to know that he hasn't given up on me. So to give back to that is to be available as best as I can, as much as I can, and coming back with the teams that I haven't been here for the summer, a good part of it. Just being back with them and getting to the groove of things. All the freshmen that are returned from last year that played a lot. We're still in sync of somewhat from last season, as far as being on the field together on defense, and it can only get better from here.
Yeah, Coach Kearse has talked about how the linebackers just as a group tried to develop like a nasty kind of aggressive mentality. How do you feel like that Michigan State game was another step in that direction for you guys?
Most definitely. Just obviously, just knowing that how big that game was and what it was going to be before we even stepped on the field. It was going to be, that was a redemption game for them from last year. They're at home, their stadium was amazing. It was loud. I think that's the loudest stadium I've ever been in. From the time the first quarter to the time fourth quarter ended, it was intense. That's the stage you want to play on. Coach Herm always tells us all the time, that's the stage you want to play on. That's the stage you want to make your name. You want to get your name out there on, and that's something that I think developed and a lot of the players learned early on throughout in the game, where if you have a chance to make a play, go do it. This is where you want to do it at,
right.
And it was a great feeling to walk out of there with a win.
Yeah, Danny talked about yesterday how you guys were motivated by the fact that just local media was picking against you guys. So what was that kind of?
Oh yeah, it was pretty sad. Because the same thing as last year, we got predicted to lose against Michigan State when they came here, and it just shows how hard you play. Coach G has a thing around. He says a thing around here. It's the team who plays the hardest, the longest will win, and it went down to the wire on both teams. It was, like I said, it was an emotional game. I lost my poise a little bit, but because that's just the type of intensity it was, and it's when people want to choose to pick against us. Thank you. It just makes us work even harder because we want to show that we belong in the rankings anywhere. At the end of the day, it doesn't matter. It only matters, at the end of the season when we're trying to go to the Rose Bowl or something. So after that, it's really a thank you, and we'll just keep proving you wrong.
Yeah. Is it true there was like a group chat floating around he was talking about that a little bit yesterday where you guys were just talking about those picks and stuff?
We were actually, I think we were actually talking about it while we were there.
Okay.
We saw about a handful of Arizona reporters. Only one of them was it.
Rob Warner.
Was that again?
Rob Warner.
Rob Warner, yeah. That's the one name I stuck out to me, which was that he chose us to win, and it was, I think he chose 23-17 or something, and I was the only guy, and it was just like, wow, okay, that's all the people that are in our face every day, want to talk to us, this and that, and they choose against us. It's like, all right, we see how you guys feel now.
That extra motivation, though, going into a big game like that?
Extra motivation, 100%, because I'm pretty sure you guys probably saw that video of Chase after the game. Pretty intense. He took that pretty personal, but just because, we love Arizona State. We came to be here for a reason, and we're just trying to give everybody here, recruits, walk-ons, transfers, trying to build something here. And I feel like we've been doing that for the past 2 seasons since the new coaching change. So just for that to happen and people pick against us, it's pretty sad in my opinion.
Well, I'm not trying to get brownie points, but on my radio show, I fought off one Michigan State fan, and I said, because it started with the spread being 15.5, which I thought was the biggest joke. Of course, I was only not paper-wise, but I on air said they're going to win this game. But when you saw, you talked about the crowd too, but there's a pretty good contingent of maroon and gold in the stands too.
Oh yeah, that section. I personally alone had about 25 people there, just because my family's from that side of the U.S. But it was, I was surprised myself to see that many Arizona State fans. I talked to a few of them before the game, and some of them said they lived in the area about an hour away, 2 hours away. I know a couple firefighters that actually from here that flew out to go see the game, which is pretty cool to see. But just to see that many gold shirts, it was pretty great. It was pretty great.
Coach was always talking about the defense. Do you feel that? You said guys that came back with the communication and the chemistry. Is building more and more each week.
Yeah, I see a huge difference with communication on defense, especially with the ones. Obviously, we talk every play. If we're confused, we don't want to run a play yet during practice. Like, we want to make sure everybody's on the same page, and that just shows a huge stepping stone in our defense of maturity and not being afraid to speak up when you don't know something. If you don't know something, then ask. And that's something I noticed that is it's going in the right direction.